Yo, what's happening, people, and welcome to Neeks Sports Transfer Daily. And we're gonna do a special on Arsenal today. Obviously, news reaching today that Arsenal are very interested in signing Pablo Mari from Brazilian side Flamengo. There was actually the talk says today that he's actually gone back to Brazil after coming to London over the weekend for a medical. Now, the reports from the Arsenal camp is that Mari actually had a plan to go back to Brazil anyway. So whatever happened over this weekend, whether the deal was to get done, completed, he was always going to go back to Brazil, whether it was to say goodbye to friends and family or get out some of his stuff or speak to Brazil to arrange contracts. But I think today just was like the weekend was just let's just get the medical done so we've got that bit out of the way so we're not rushing come towards their done day. That's what the Arsenal camp is saying. But then Flamengo in Brazil, their camp is saying that Pablo Mari deal is up in the air because Arsenal have changed what they originally said that they were going to do. The rumours are that Arsenal reportedly bid on a loan with an option to buy. And Flamengo want the money up front now. They want a permanent transfer now. They don't want a loan deal. They want it signed, sealed and delivered. Let him go to Arsenal. Now, a lot of people may not even know who Mari is, including myself. Had to sort of do a little bit of research on actually who this man is. A lot of the time when Arsenal sign players, you kind of hear them or know of them. But a bit like Martinelli, a bit of an unknown, really. And maybe more so because this player actually, as of last year, was a Premier League player in a sense. He signed a deal, a 3-year deal with Manchester City in 2016, which was actually the year that Arteta went to City. So, just before Arteta went to City, apparently he's supposed to be a good defender. As I said, I'm not gonna go overboard because I don't know him and I've actually only seen him play. I have actually seen him play a couple of times, and we'll get into that. In terms of his sort of progress from City, he was bought by City, and then he went straight out back on loan after some time in Spanish football, and then he went on loan to a side in the Eredivisie, and it was interesting actually reading about what happened there because so he went basically to the Dutch league to have a loan spell there, and actually he joined just before their pre-season, was there for about 5 weeks, and after 5 weeks the manager actually made him captain of the football club. Now it's mad to have someone who's on loan with you, the captain of the club, let alone someone who's been there for 5 weeks. Like, been there for 5 weeks, and the manager said he was so good in those 5 weeks that he looked like such a leader that they'll make him captain of the club. So there it was. Mari's captain of Brescia in the Eredivisie. But after that loan deal, he went back to Spanish football and actually went down a league into Deportivo La Coruña's season. And it was a tough season for them because they were trying to get back into the league after, getting relegated. And he kind of left as a little bit of a villain, as he had a chance actually to help Deportivo get promoted to the first division. Didn't work out, missed his chance, and they stayed in division and are struggling to this day in that division. They may even go down again. But in that summer of that year after that season had ended, he went to Flamengo, into Brazil, where he is now, and has flourished ever since, really. He obviously joined halfway through the Brazilian season, so played in about 22 of their 38 games in that season, and helped them to win the Brazilian Serie A, and took them to helped them in the Club World Cup as well, where they played Liverpool, got to the final, as you may remember, Firmino scoring after extra time for 1-0 in that game. And a lot of Brazilian fans are reveling about who he is, about how good he is. Apparently, even stats-wise, I think he's got the most long-range passes into the opposition's half out of all the defenders in the division. Was named in the team of the year despite coming, somewhat through the season. not a lot of European players get named in that team of the year as well. And I don't want to overhype him. I don't want to say how he's the next whoever, maybe in a name, but he looks good. He looks good from the stats. He looks good, but so did Mustafi. So did Socrates, who he hasn't been too bad. And so for a lot of other defenders who have come to Arsenal, it's about what they can produce on the pitch. He's 26 years old, 26 or 27, so he's got some experience. He's not going to be like a young kid coming in who has to learn the Premier League over again. He's a footballer. He knows how to play against. He's played in Europe before. He's played in Brazil, so he's got experience playing against many different sort of pacey strikers. But of course, it'll be a massive test to play in the top division of the Premier League, and the way things are going with Arsenal defence at the moment, week in, week out, potentially. It's just all about, can Arsenal get the deal done over the line? Talks of this deal maybe stalling what the news has brought about this week. Should that deal not go through, however, Arsenal are apparently also in talks with Matviyenko of Ukrainian side Shakhtar Donetsk, and they're looking for sort of more of a bigger price range. They're looking sort of along the £30 million mark. I think even if Arsenal did sign Mari in a loan deal, the money we'll be paying in the summer is only going to be something like 6 mil. So it's a lot cheaper than the Matviyenko deal, which could be on the table in with Shakhtar. It's looking more unlikely that will happen. Mari looks like the one that will probably go through if it does. Matviyenko, it's the money. I think Ukraine again want that money straight up. They want 30 million now. Arsenal looking for a loan with a potential option to buy at the end of the season. I guess they want to also see how good he is. Really, they don't want to maybe splash £30 million if he's not as good as maybe people think they are. Arteta actually coached Manchester City against them twice this season, home and away, in the Champions League when he played for Shakhtar. So someone who would have seen him, I don't necessarily know if he'd be literally looking at a centre-back to sign for Arsenal at that moment in time. He was, of course, fully fledged in his role as a City manager, but they would have set their stall out to go beat them, set out Aguero or Jesus or Sterling, whoever it was in that position, to try and upend the Shakhtar the next defence and against that sort of player. But yeah, we don't know. We're still waiting. Arsenal yet to make a signing. Will be Arteta's first signing if either of these two do sign for Arsenal before Friday's deadline. As I said, the deadline is vastly approaching on Friday on the 31st of January. So Arsenal need to get a move on if they want to make any signings this transfer window. But it's January. We don't expect big deals. I think also fans would just like a deal to work in January. We've had people, the likes of Kim Karlstrom and Denis Suarez and so on and so forth, where it's just not worked out. Injuries have plagued them, or usually they turn up injured. It's like, we signed you to play for 6 months and you're injured for half the time. So we want someone who's going to be fit and someone who's going to come in and push on forward. Like the Kim Karlstrom deal was always a deal that was going to end at the end of the season. There was no way we were going to keep him longer than that. And maybe a Suarez could have been different, but it didn't work out for Denis Suarez. And yeah, we just hope that any of these deals that do come with loans or options to buy, that actually it helps the future of Arsenal, not just the present, because we want this defence really sorted out going forward. As we know, it's been our Achilles heel for some time. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the Mari deal, especially, and see what comes from that in the next coming days, and maybe even another signing or two. We'll wait and see. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. See you soon.